Yo, what up? Welcome to another episode of the Oakland Warriors podcast. I'm Patrick, flying solo. The Warriors, they beat the Los Angeles Lakers 128-112 in a game that didn't have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, or Carmelo Anthony. This was a game that the Warriors kind of didn't need, and honestly, it showed. They struggled with the Lakers for pretty much like three and three quarters. The Lakers, they basically played like a team with a lot of dudes who are either rookies or dudes who are on like 1 year contracts, right? They're like, oh, we're on TNT, and they all played really hard and played well. Like Dwight Howard, he shot 6 for 10. Talen Horton-Tucker, who has been pretty much a massive zero this season for the Lakers, scored 40 points. That dude was playing like he wants out. Look, I'm good. Trade for me, you know? But to some extent, I gave the Warriors some leeway in this game, largely because they had 3 days off. They were maybe a little bit rusty, but also they 100% played down to the competition, right? They didn't see any urgency, and they didn't play with any urgency. They thought they were just playing the scrubs and that they would roll over, but that didn't happen. Like I said, Malik Monk is also on a 1 year contract, and that dude is good. I've always thought he was going to be a good, solid player, but he looks pretty much like a Lou Williams, Jamal Crawford type. And whoever signs him next year is going to have a hell of a player. But my question throughout this whole game was like, all right. They're going through these motions and whatever. Can the Warriors eventually just flip the switch and put this game away? Halftime comes. I'm like, no, they haven't done it yet. Third quarter ends. I'm like, they had a little bit of a run, but still a game at that point. But then finally, in the fourth quarter, the Warriors pulled away. They made enough big shots, and it was done. Maybe like 7 minutes left in the game, 6 minutes. So that's that. Right now, the Warriors are still in third place. If the season ended today, they'd be playing the Denver Nuggets, which is fine. The most important thing right now is for no one to get hurt. And there were at least 3 important dudes who ended up with some like hitches in their get-ups at some point in the game. Didn't seem like anything was serious, maybe serious enough only to sit out the Spurs game or maybe the final 2. But Andrew Wiggins knocked knees with somebody on a basket in a lane in the first quarter. That looked like it was pretty uncomfortable, but he kept playing and he came back, and it didn't seem to hold him back at all, but it might swell up, so we'll see what happens with that. Draymond Green took a charge and landed on his wrist. Again, something that you don't want to see, because as we all know, if there's no Draymond, there's no chance. He kept playing, and I think on the next play, he actually drove to the basket, had a nice layup. But again, all these things, they're running on adrenaline and stuff, so we'll see how he responds to that. And then Jordan Poole, he went for a fast break dunk in the fourth quarter towards the end of the game and got fouled and hit his wrist pretty hard on the rim and seemed to be favoring it while he was sitting on the ground before his teammates picked him up. But I think he's all right. He's 22, so he should be okay. But please, no one get hurt, right? We're hoping for a long playoff stretch. And, that's one thing that I have in the back of my mind. It's like with Klay, Draymond, Steph, Andre Iguodala being the core championship 4, are they going to be able to make it? Are they going to make it to the end? Who knows? Maybe they have a ton of luck and all of them stay healthy throughout the playoffs and they make it to the Western Conference Finals, then on to the finals. But, I think that's something to keep an eye on. And when somebody goes down, that's when like the dudes like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and even the plug and play guys like that you rarely see, JTA, Damian Lee, you know what I mean? Like if one of their shooters goes down, then Damian Lee plugs in for someone else. If Andre Iguodala goes out, Kaminga gets more minutes. Just because the Warriors might start off the playoffs healthy does not mean that's how it's going to go. Jonathan Kuminga got a little bit of run in this one. He played 8 minutes, 2 for 4 from the field, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 6 points, 4 boards. I was surprised to see him out there. It obviously changed the game a little bit because of his athleticism and what he can do on the court. There was one play where I believe it was Wayne Ellington tried to stop Kaminga coming down the baseline, and Kaminga just like quickly jumped up and put a shot up off the backboard. And it was like, wow, he's such a quick jumper. He's so athletic, so much more athletic than other dudes in the most athletic league in sports. But it was good to see him out there early. You didn't see him much when it mattered in the second half. He came in garbage time, hit a nice off the dribble, pull up mid-range jumper from just around the free throw line. And, if he can start hitting that consistently, that like Paul Pierce jumper, yeah, that's just another weapon that he can go to as his career moves forward. Again, the kid is just developing. And if these Warriors coaches and trainers, they know their stuff, it's like, make him watch Paul Pierce, make him watch other dudes and steal their tricks, the things that made them so dangerous and consistent, right? Kawhi can hit that mid-range. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes from there. Klay Thompson, all I've been hoping for from Klay is a stretch of consistency. And he played 33 minutes, 12 for 22 from the field, 6 for 10 from 3, hit all 3 of his free throws, had 4 boards and 4 assists, 33 points. That's promising. That's promising. And if this is a sign of things to come, again, it's only been like a few games, but that bodes well for everything else moving forward. I was really looking forward to this game before the Lakers got eliminated because I was hoping that the Warriors would be the ones to put them away. But obviously that happened a couple nights previously. But it was just nice to see the Warriors play basketball again, to be honest. It had been 3 days, which is a really, really long stretch. They looked rusty, appropriately rusty, and they're still gross with the turnovers. They just kept tossing the ball here, there, the other. And as we know, that's just part of the Warriors' way. That's one of their Achilles heels since the dynasty started. Again, hopefully they clean that stuff up, but they got a couple more games to work with that. 2 titles are up for grabs on the stacked UFC 273 fight card. Join the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. New customers can bet $5 on any fighter and get $100 in free bets, win or lose, guaranteed. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still get in on the excitement. Everyone can play for a share of millions in prizes with DraftKings daily fantasy MMA contests. Draft your lineup of fighters while staying under the salary cap and rack up points for strikes, takedowns, and more. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use promo code TBPN, throw down $5 on UFC 273, and get $100 in free bets no matter what. That's code TBPN this Saturday at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. 21 and over, restrictions apply. See show notes for details. I figure on the back-to-back with the Spurs on Saturday and then the Pelicans on Sunday, you'll see a mix and match of guys play, some guys who need work, some guys who need to get more in rhythm. Obviously, the Spurs game might be the one that the starters play in, but if some of them are feeling a little bit beat up, maybe they take that extra day and they get a little bit of run. They play 20, 25 minutes against the Pelicans. We'll see what happens. Again, if the Warriors lose any of those games, it is what it is, right? You're trying to preserve health and stay in rhythm. If they fall to 4th, again, not the worst thing in the world. Like I've said, I don't worry, I don't fear any team for the Warriors, but you'd rather see the Suns maybe in the second round than the Grizzlies, right? Just because the Grizzlies have something that the Warriors haven't figured out yet, and the Suns, the Warriors just match up better with them. And in terms of the Jazz or the Nuggets, toss up, right? I do prefer the Jazz. They are obviously a team that is trending in the wrong direction in general. So you want to play against them, and there's nobody on that team that really worries me, especially in the playoffs. But, again, bottom line is you give me healthy Steph, Klay, Draymond, and then throw in Poole, Andre Iguodala, and I like our chances. That's it. If the Warriors end up a 4th seed, but they're healthy, that's a team that no team wants to play, plain and simple. One random thing, it says that Otto Porter Jr. was plus 35. That's got to be a typo. The Warriors were never even like 20 points ahead of the Lakers in this game, so that's weird. Anyway, that's all I got for now. 2 more games, and just got to give a quick update. I'm really excited for the playoffs. I've never never done podcast episodes during the playoffs. When I first started this podcast in 2018, I had to cut it short because just other projects, and I didn't make it to the playoffs. And then last season, when I picked it up again, obviously there was the play-in round, but that's about it. And now it's like, whoa, it's like a whole new season for the Warriors and kind of for this show. I'm excited. So after these 2 final games coming up next week, I'm going to do a season in review episode where we look back on some of our thoughts, predictions, impressions of what the season was going to give us and see how right, wrong, happy, or sad we are. And then also there will be a playoff preview episode that will happen as soon as the play-in round is over. So keep an eye out for those 2. I know that playoff games are a little bit more spread out than the regular season. That's good for the Warriors, obviously. They're old dudes and getting healthy and staying healthy. But, we'll definitely have some special episodes throughout the whole playoff run. Anyway, that's another episode of the Oakland Warriors podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter at Patrick Epino, Epino, or at Oakland Warriors. Check out our new YouTube channel. The link will be in the show notes. Be sure to check us out at oaklandwarriors.com, and be sure to tell your fellow Warrior fan friends to tune in and listen. The Oakland Warriors podcast is produced by National Folk Society and is a part of the Basketball Podcast Network. And if you can, please do leave us a 5-star rating on Spotify and or Apple Podcasts, and also leave us a nice review on Apple Podcasts. That would be super helpful. Thanks for listening. That's it. Music in this episode provided by Paper Sun. Special thanks to Paul Amardo for production support. See you next time.